Hey guys, welcome back to the Mic'd Upstate podcast. I'm your host, KT Temple, and we've got a wonderful guest on. We've got Jessica Baxter with us, and she's going to talk about kind of her journey of real estate and some of the things she's come across as she begins starting her own team. So I thought it'd be a great learning experience to get the chance to talk to her and see if we can get some nuggets of good information out of her journey. So, Jess, before we get into that, introduce yourself, tell everybody where you're from, and just talk to us a little bit about how you got into real estate and decided on this career path.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate you guys thinking of me. I got my license in 2021. And prior to having my license, my husband and I were doing small flips, as I like to call it. We bought our first home in 2014. We, did some cosmetic updates. And once we were kind of at our max with that house, I had gotten the itch. I was like, it's time. It's time to move on to the next one. So we sold that house. We made a significant profit so that we were able to buy our next house. That house we completely renovated from top to bottom. Roof, redid the foundation, put in a new heating and cooling system, took down walls, new kitchen, 2 new bathrooms, like you name it, we did it. And we did a lot of it ourselves, which I think is a huge asset to my business and has really helped me learn how to navigate different buyers and people who might be looking for that approach. Then COVID hit. I was working a job that I was really unhappy with. I had some personal things going on in my life that
What
really,
industry were you in before this?
I worked in engineering.
Oh, okay.
So I
So,
worked on
so
the
flipping
marketing
the house
side.
makes sense now.
Yeah, I wasn't an engineer, but I worked on the marketing side for an engineering firm.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed what I did, but not necessarily the industry I worked in. But during that time, I had gained all this knowledge of, renovating a home, the costs, the steps, and, while we were doing that, I was looking at the value and hoping to sell. It was kind of like a live-in BRRRR almost, if
Mm,
you're familiar with that term.
yeah. Well,
And
and so pause right there. For people who don't know what burr is, what is a burr?
so you're going to buy, you're going to renovate, you're going to rent the house, and then you're going to refinance and reinvest.
Yeah.
I may have
There you
added
go.
an extra R there, but those are
No, I
steps.
think that was it. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so once COVID hit, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have a job. I don't know if I'm not going to have a job. And I had some life circumstances going on in the background where I was like, you know what? Let's rip the band aid off. My parents were like, why don't you do this? So
Awesome.
I sat down in my basement, just like so many other people during COVID, and I got my license. I studied. I actually almost missed the course. My girlfriend, she was getting her license at the same time. She's now on my team. And she was like, did you sign up for the state exam? And I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And she was like, your course has to be expiring soon. And I logged on and I had 10 days left.
Oh my God.
So I hustled through it. I think I had 10 days and 10 hours. Like it was easy. We banged it out, signed up for the state exam. And then I shopped around for different brokerages and I ended up on a small independent boutique brokerage. And I started my career there, then moved on to another small independent brokerage. And in June, decided to join KW.
So a lot of agents who got their license during COVID are no longer in the industry, right? We've seen a lot of people get their license during that time, and a lot of people leave the industry. What happened during that time that made you successful and allowed you to continue into this career path? Was there anything that stands out to you?
I know this might sound really cliche, but I have never found that one thing that I was really good at. And this was it. This was that one thing I was really good at, and it made me happy. It was my passion. And I just like things would get hard, but it wasn't like, oh, this is so frustrating. I want to quit. It was, this is hard. How do I overcome it? What are my options? Like, how do we take this problem and figure out multiple solutions that can work for the client? And I really found that empowering.
Did you take any skills from your marketing past with the engineering company to real estate that you think contributed to your success?
Absolutely. So, one of my roles when I worked in the marketing world was to host events, client events. And that really helped me open the door to have conversations with strangers.
Man,
And
an engineer party sounds like a rager.
and that's the other thing, right? They're like the industry as a whole, they're not all incredibly outgoing. So you have to find different things to talk to people about.
Absolutely.
And you'd be shocked how many engineers I interact with now on a day to day basis. And I credit it my ability to like get them to open up to me and understand how their brain works to my experience in the past.
Yeah, if you don't know, there's like a disc profile, right? And you learn how to interact with other people based off their needs. And engineers are notoriously challenging for a lot of agents because they are detail oriented. They want to know what's going on. They want to know the details, and some agents are ready for that. So I think you're absolutely right. That gave you definitely an advantage into uh, a more challenging, a more needy client.
Absolutely.
So you started in 2021, almost 2026, and we were pulling your numbers yesterday, and we were guessing around 0 to 20 million. About where did you find out that you're at?
So we will end the year at 18.
18, awesome.
It
So
means I
those
gotta
are
try again next year.
yeah, we'll get 20. We'll have you on 1 year from now when you get up to 20. So what do you think? Did you do anything special in your lead generation? Was it the parties? What led you to this success? And that's a relatively short amount of time to get to that number.
You want to know what led to this success?
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
absolutely. We're all dying to know.
I have no shut off valve.
Oh, okay.
Was it 2024? January 2024, February 2024. I threw up 2 goose eggs 2 months in a row. That
Okay.
was probably one of the most terrifying experiences as a self employed person that I've ever been through. To go 2 months without a paycheck, 2 months without any transactions, after just like riding this high for so long that I was like, we're not going back down that road. I sat down, I studied what did I do? How did I get here? And I was like, I'm never doing this again.
What um
And
what was your mental state like during that time?
not good, not
Yeah.
good at all. Like, I was like, do I go get a part time job? Is it the market? Like, what is it? And no, it was me. What you do today impacts what you do or what you have 90 days from now, right?
You
We
said
know
you
this.
said you studied during that time. What did you study about yourself?
I dug into like what I was doing on a daily basis. Well, I took 9 weeks off in 2023. Those 9 weeks led to nothing, right?
Yeah.
If you're not, and I think like this was a huge turning point that made me realize, okay, like I'm not running a business, my business is running me.
Hmm.
So if I can't take the time to be with my family or to go on vacation, I had a lot of things going on in 2023 that I needed to take the time off, but my business wasn't in a place where it was running without me. And so I had to figure out how to put systems in place so that it could do so.
Yeah, I've got a good buddy, Timothy. He's the PC coach out of the Portsmouth KW office. He does a podcast every morning, and all his listeners, he tells them what the date is 90 days out.
Yeah.
And so he goes, everything you do now, you don't see the rewards of for 90 days. So I'm sure when you were looking back at that 9 weeks, you were like, okay, 3 months ago, those 9 weeks might have done something here that I am not receiving, that I'm now reaping the benefits of the goose egg that you got.
Yeah. I mean, and I just hit a hot streak and did not stop because it was like you remember what you feel like, you remember what your emotional state was, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not going back down that path.
Sometimes it's good to have those moments so that you can remember, like when I hurt my knee, I remember that pain, and I don't touch skateboards anymore. So you remember that pain, you run away from it.
Yes.
So you got out of that slump.
Yes.
You're on a good track, and now you're thinking, okay, I've got more leads than I know what to do with. I'm going to start a team. Talk to me about that decision there.
So the one person that is on my team, she's the reason I have my license, and she has been with me for quite some time. I think we've been together for 4 years. We were never officially like a team until we came to KW. And shout out to the leadership team who helped me put that agreement together. Like that was the thing, is I just didn't know what it should look like. I didn't know what splits looked like. I didn't know what the responsibilities looked like. So they were able to help me put that together so we could start an official team. And so Kaylee's with me. We've been together quite some time, and we've been friends since we were like 12. Um, and then another past client of mine who sold and purchased at least, geez, I don't know. Monica must have sold like 6 of her own houses at this point. So she recently got her license. It was something she's been wanting to do for a long time. And now she's on my team as well. And we just try to, I've reviewed
She
some other,
did 6 deals with you and then got your license?
so we did 3 together. One
Wow.
time she left me and went way up north, so I referred her to somebody else. And then
Gotcha.
she came back. I think
Is
she
she
was
on your
on.
is she on your downline? Did you like do the
Yeah,
recruiting of this to
yeah,
make it?
yeah,
That's
yep.
so cool. Awesome.
And
So you
she's
just
really
saw
doing
somebody who was
phenomenal.
ready to make a career change that was already doing it, and you're like, you'd be
Yeah,
good at it.
yeah.
So
My
cool.
husband's in the process of getting his license now. He
My
was
wife's in the process of getting hers. I'm doing the
he
same
was
thing.
like, "You're doing so much." He was like, "It makes sense for me to just naturally do this." So we've been talking about it and joking about like what it's going to look like. And I'm like, "You're going to be in charge because that's
Well,
your
not
thing,
to get
not
off
mine."
track, but so do you know what the cap structure is for a husband and wife?
Yes.
Yes. Will you tell everybody what that is?
Is it 27 or 21?
Well,
Somewhere in
so
there.
every office has their own thing, but for
Okay.
every KW, it's split. Husband and wives are always that's
It's the
one cap.
same, right?
Yes,
It's
you
the
so you
same as
there's not two
whatever the
different caps
cap
you have to
is.
pay. It's one cap, which is such a value add on,
Yeah.
reaching that cap point. You now have to do half the work. So
Yeah.
cool. All
It
right, keep
is.
going. Sorry, I was just excited to hear that.
So now we're just trying to like figure it out, right? So I've got these 2 people that are on my team. We have a virtual assistant. I've had Ella for over a year. The virtual assistant has absolutely changed my life. I would not be able to do 50 transactions a year as an independent agent without her. She is the yin to my yang. She keeps me where I need to be when I need to be there. And um I would probably have ended up in a mental institution without her. She's awesome. And we're just, like I said, we're just trying to figure it out. Who's in charge of what? How do you fill the best role? And like I said, the one girl on my team, Kaylee, she's part time, and then Monica's full time, and she's learning the ropes and everything. So we're trying to figure out where everybody belongs and what role everyone is going to succeed best at.
You mentioned earlier that you were when you were thinking about this, you knew that you were going to be responsible for other people. Did you have any second thoughts about taking on that responsibility of owning someone else's business? And how did you decide that what this is worth the risk?
I think about it every day.
Yeah,
It is a lot of responsibility. I think about Ella every day. I am responsible for keeping the lights on in her house and making sure her son has food on his table. Like, it's a lot of pressure. And fortunately, with the other 2 people on my team, the one person has a full-time job, and I provide her with whatever I can, but she's also responsible to feed herself too. um, we're a team in the sense that we share resources and knowledge and time. But when it comes to our business and our clients, like, we're all responsible for bringing people to the table.
absolutely. Yeah. What challenges have you had since beginning this journey?
I try to remind myself that, right, you treat people the way you want to be treated. You talk to people the way you want to be talked to. And I struggle with giving constructive criticism or feedback. Um and that's been a really tall mountain for me to climb, and dealing with personnel issues or client issues. Um Another thing that I'm working on right now is changing the language, right? It's not an I, it's a we.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
focusing heavily on that right now.
That-
It's
I,
not
I
I
always
do this, I do that. It's we do this. This way, if I don't show up to open a door to meet with clients, they're like, oh, yeah, this is Monica. She's on Jess's team.
I like the security of we. Like even I work from my home, I'm by myself all day long. Whenever I book someone, I'm like, we'll reach out to you. Like there's other people here. I, I find that it just one makes the client feel better. It makes me feel better. I'm like, not totally alone here. Yeah, we've got a team. There's a team around me. They're just not here right now.
Yeah.
So
It's
is
funny
is
when I do like paperwork and stuff, I don't do paperwork. Ella does the paperwork. So I always am like, oh, my assistant will send it over. And I'm like, does that sound pretentious? Like, I don't want it to, but she will.
no.
She is the one that's going to be sending the paperwork.
Well, I always use the example of a doctor's office. Your doctor shows up into that room for 3 minutes, goes, okay, yeah, all right, your knee's still busted? Got it. All right, later. And that's it. The rest of the team does everything else. And I find that real estate agents have to remind themselves that if they take themselves as serious as a doctor, well, people will respect you as serious as a doctor. But
Yeah,
it starts with you.
it does. It really does start with you.
So what's the future? And what's the name of the team?
The Roots team.
The Roots team. So what's the future of the Roots team look like? What's making you super excited for 2026?
The future. 2026. I think it's really going to be about growing the team. I have a couple other folks that are getting their license, and it's going to be about honing in on the process, right? I need the wheels to start spinning. I need to have just standard processes in place so that as we bring people on, training them is a lot easier and it's systematic. Whether it's me doing it, whether it's Ella, my assistant, that's doing it, everybody knows what the expectations are and how things are to be run.
Awesome. Great. Well, Jess, if anybody wants to buy, sell, invest in real estate with you, or is thinking about joining a team and might want to interview with you, how would they reach out to you?
Definitely give me a call or send me an email, whichever is easier for you. Texting works well. I joke that the worst thing that this iPhone ever did was learn to like you can make it say unread, and I go back all the time. I check who did I leave on unread, and it's been life changing so that I can follow up with people, but also detach a little bit too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great, Jess. Thanks so much for being on with us. Guys, if you found this episode interesting, you found it helpful, please leave us a review. It really does help us out a lot. And please subscribe. Share this with the agents in your market center. We want to spotlight you and your business. If you got an incredible story, an incredible business, we want to have you on for the upstate New York region. We'll be back again next Friday with another episode. So thank you again, Jess, and we'll see you guys next week.